You got new students showing up to your youth ministry, to your fall kickoff events. Are you ready to wow them or just hand them a stale pizza coupon? In this episode, we are going to detail and outline my full guest strategy newcomers welcome box. It is linked down below if you want to check it out. And of course, as always, there are chapters listed down below. Welcome, my friends, to the Hybrid Ministry Show. Well, hey, everybody, welcome to the Hybrid Ministry Show. If you and I haven't had a chance to meet yet, my name is Nick Clayson, a 15-year youth ministry veteran. And in recent years, I've stumbled into this idea of a welcome guest box. In fact, we detailed and outlined it in this episode, linked right here on screen or down below if you want to go check that out. And the fact of the matter is that we have discovered that the psychology behind creating an intentional follow-up box is threefold. First of all, you want the students who come to your youth ministry for the very first time, you want them to feel like $1,000,000. You want to roll out the red carpet for them, and you want them to feel like you have thought about them and that you have, you've planned to have them there. However, like in recent years, we've discovered more and more with this generation that it's an overwhelming experience to walk into a youth ministry for the very first time. And so imagine walking into a place that's completely foreign, completely new, completely wild, and completely crazy. And then you're like, here's this, and here's this, and here's this, and here's this. And you're like swagging them out. And like, that's a great notion. However, in the moment, they're just figuring out like, where's the bathroom? Meanwhile, they have to hold and track and keep all this stuff that you're just like loading them up with, and they're awkward because they're holding it, but like nobody else has it. And like, if you want them to truly get involved in your youth ministry, you want them like jumping into things like Gaga Ball and 9 Square, but like they have things that they have to keep track of, and like they don't know where's a safe place to actually lay it down. And so therefore, that's why we have pivoted to recently in our student ministry, sending a guest welcome box. And so they come, we get all their information. We say, hey, thank you so much. So glad you're here. We pair them up with someone new, and then we treat them just like any other normal student. Meanwhile, a few days later, they'll get on their doorstep a welcome box branded with all the things helping welcome them to our student ministry. And in that moment, they're then able to be completely swagged out and have all of the things that they need, but they're able to do it in a less threatening environment. They're able to do it at home. And so we love this strategy. And again, as I said in the previous episode, I've given a full breakdown of it. You can go check that out. And I also include some artwork for it. But in this episode, I'm going to include the artwork for my 2025 fall calendars so that you can include and you can start using that to start laying out and dishing out your fall 2025 calendar. Because again, if you're in this masterclass, which you are, this is video part 2 of the fall masterclass for youth ministry. Last week we talked about the world's greatest donut kickoff event, and if that event did its job and new students came, then those students came to your youth ministry, and then now you're going to use today's episode, this welcome box, to send out and welcome the new students to your ministry. And so this first time, or this calendar that's included in the welcome box, it is free for all members of my Patreon. If not, you can jump on and you can grab it for just a few bucks. I think it's like $3 or $4 over there on Patreon. But if you become a member, which is only $4 per month, not only do you get access to every single thing on my store, including like my seasonal social media packs, the welcome box from that past episode, and this fall calendar, but you also get a weekly bonus podcast where I go through what we do in our youth ministry and in our kickoff events. And it's basically like your weekly debrief meeting. Even if you don't have a team around you, it's always helpful to have someone else's voice and to just hear those things to kind of get those ideas going in your brain and like in your creative juices. And so that's the value of, again, $4 per month is the bonus podcast. But here's the other reason that I love this welcome box idea is because as soon as you open it up, we have a gigantic QR code right when they open it up. And at the top, it says welcome video, and they scan it and it takes them to our YouTube channel. And so it's a welcome video from me and other people on our team. And, if you're following this fall playlist, last week, you also got them on your social media. So they hopefully went and checked out your social media last week because voting for the donuts was on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you have. And then this video also takes them to YouTube. So now it's the second social media touch point for them in as many days. And if they're going to continue on with this donut thing, if they're going to continue on to see this thing through, if they're going to keep coming back, they're going to interact with your social media more and more. And as we talked about in a previous video over the summer, the key to social media in youth ministry is not like a one-time amazing viral video. The key is many micro connections over time so that they get used to and they get familiar with your brand and your social media, which is why it's so important to not only stay custom on social media, but also to stay regular and consistent on social media, which is what my seasonal social media pack was meant to do over the summer. And big news in 4 episodes, the final episode of this fall one, we are launching our fall seasonal social media pack. We want to help you win, creating not only custom content, but also creating serving opportunities for your students to level up and lead these social media teams. And so now you might be thinking like, okay, so we got the world's greatest donut event, and now we got this welcome box. How do I know if any of these things are actually hitting, if we're actually making any discernible difference in the life of our student? I'm glad you asked, because in the next episode, we're going to talk about one of the key components of this fall kickoff event, and it's the fact that we alluded to it a little bit in the last episode, but we include this moment of like 45 minutes of free time for students to do whatever they want. That video is going to be linked here on screen. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're watching this live so that you don't miss when that episode drops next Thursday. But until next time, and as always, my friends, don't forget to stay hybrid.